Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Danny, I just popped the top on my own beer tonight. I don't have a person to do it for me. I guess I'm not special anymore.
I think you at some point, right? You had someone that would do that for you. It was like, it's just normal. What would you do? I'll get you a beer and I'll open it for you. But these days, I don't know, marriage.
I don't know.
You go a few years in and they're like, get your own.
Marriage. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I feel like I was running in here because we had my son's fourth grade Christmas program tonight. So I was like,
Oh,
trying to get in here as quick as possible. The worst part too, and there's a good and bad of this. So like I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna video this. It'll be great, like I usually do. And I was standing back there and I noticed that they actually had their own camera, and I was like, it's interesting. And so I looked at the school newsletter, and apparently they were live streaming them, which is a good thing because I tried to video it myself, and in the process of doing so, my phone died. So not from lack of energy, it was from lack of space.
oh, wow. You have filled your phone up. That's impressive.
It is full. So, but that's okay. I got a way to clear it all out and we'll be all good. So, but but the cool part was that because it was live streamed, my great grandmother, my son's great grandmother, my grandmother, and his grandparents, my mom and dad, all got to watch the program as well. So, that was pretty cool.
That's cool. That is, I will say I love living in the future. I think anybody that knows me knows that I love technology and I love all the things that we can do, but having the ability to get your grandparents or the grandparents, I guess, to watch your kids' stuff is amazing. It's like one of the best parts of being and living in, in the future in a digital age where we could just video anything and anybody that we want to can watch it. I love it.
Especially
they probably loved it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I got text message from my grandma, saying that he did a good job. I'm like, here's my 82-year-old grandmother that gets to sit in her home and watch her great grandson perform, 3.5 hours away. So that was really cool. But yeah, they did a good job. It was a fun show. He nailed all the moves and was, having just a blast up there. So
awesome.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's been good. How have things been with you? I know I had a question for you to go along with that, which is your 8-year-old still not talking till Christmas?
Oh no, that lasted maybe 20 minutes, maybe 25. Yeah, it was pretty quick. She was very upset, and she wrote several notes how much she hated him. And she would write it all down and just, and pull it off her little pad and hand it to him. And I could hear him out there. He's like, I don't want that. I'm not going to take that. Yeah, I don't have to, you can't give that to me. And then I go out there later and there's ripped paper in like probably a 10-foot circle around his desk where she has come in and placed a note on his desk, and he goes over and sees it because he wasn't doing work or anything. So when he comes back from whatever, and tear it up and fling it into the air right there next to his trash can, let me say. But sure, okay, you're angry, or I don't even know. He wasn't even really angry. It was more like he just wanted to play that game with her.
Right.
Where you just push her a little bit and see how mad she can really get,
Just poke the bear.
So, yeah.
Totally.
He's dumb. He's a very smart kid, but he's also like me, very dumb in some things. It's like, this could get you in a lot of trouble or hurt you. Nah, I'll be fine.
Oh, so yeah, gosh.
She quit pretty quick. But she's a talker. She's like me.
And well, I wondered.
Yeah. She's got to sing and she's got to dance and she's got to talk. So it didn't last long. I actually, it lasted less time than I thought it would, but she needed to get into a conversation with Marnie, with her mom, or my wife, whatever. And I don't know if it had anything to do with like Christmas presents or something wonderful that she was going to get. I mean, I'm sure it was something that was like, you sure you don't want to talk? Because we could talk about more brown construction paper, because that's on her Christmas list, which was great. She said, yeah, we're out of brown construction paper. I've had to use like the oranges and stuff, and it just doesn't look the same. And I don't even know what she's doing artistically. She told me today, she said, what I want is, when I grow up, I want to be known around the world as an artist. Wow. And that's what I want to be my, she didn't say legacy, but whatever word she used basically meant her legacy, that she wanted to be known as having been a great artist. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That is
so
cool.
She shows that by crafting things that are, kid stuff, like, oh, this is cool. What is this? Oh, I had construction paper. So but she put on her Christmas list, brown construction paper. And of course, really cool. I said, Lizzie, we can just get you, like, craft supplies don't need to be on your Christmas list,
right?
We're okay. We can get you some brown paper. It's okay. You don't have to ask Santa for that.
She comes walking up with like her last piece. May I have some more brown paper, sir?
That's right.
Can we go to the grocery store? They have brown paper bags. Can I have some more brown paper?
At least just that, sir. Please, sir. May I have another?
Oh my goodness. Well, that reminded me of something. Actually, you're talking about brown paper and Christmas. So one of our good friends in the realm of stay-at-home dads, Vernon Gibbs, he has he has I'm Dreaming of a Brown Christmas, which is a really cool book that currently I believe on Amazon you can get it for like $6 in paperback. And I wanted to take the time to sort of just push it out there and promote it a little bit, because that's his second book that he's done. But this one, I find it to be very special, just the topic and just the things that it addresses in the story. I think it's just one of those, kind of new take on a Christmas classic, which is the song White Christmas, and they've changed it around to Brown Christmas. So I'll put in the show notes where people can get that book, but we also too in the newsletter will have an opportunity you can enter to win an autographed copy of the book as well.
Nice.
So that's the other thing that's going on there. So that'll be in the newsletter. So if you don't get the newsletter, go to athomedad.org and you can sign up to get on the newsletter list. And then that way you will be able to get other newsletters as well, because we do book giveaway every single month. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there.
I love it. Just smoothly right into the, hey, you should be on the newsletter.
Definitely.
Well done.
Well, today, this episode is episode 97. We're walking up to that 100. And we're going to continue on with the series on getting to know the board. And tonight we're going to talk with Charlie O'Hara. Charlie has been a guy that I have really just enjoyed getting to know over the past few years. And I got to actually go out to his place for an overnight stay when we did our trip out west. So I got to meet his entire family.
Oh, nice.
Which was cool. And his parents actually watched the kids so that we could have a date night with Charlie and his wife when we were out there. So that was super cool.
Yeah. Now you're just showing off, man. Come on.
But no, I like I said, I really do appreciate the fact that you put this series together, because I think a lot of people haven't really probably had the chance to get to know Charlie all that well, and so it's going to be fun to just talk with him.
And honestly, with a couple of guys too, I don't know them that well. I mean, I know them, we talk, but I don't know anything. Well, like, even JHG, who I thought I knew, is a metalhead, and I'm like, what? Really? Huh? I never would have pictured it. So yeah, I love it. It's good for me too.
Yeah, it's just fun. And I think too, like with the fact that, we turn 3 new people in every year to the board. doing this on a regular basis, I think is probably going to be a staple, just because not only, like you said, not only is it good for the listeners, but it's good for us on the board to get to kind of get to know people, get to know the other guys on the board, because our interactions are typically, a once a month board meeting and then messaging on Slack back and forth, and, and maybe getting time to actually hang out at the convention. And then we have our retreat. So with doing it at this point in time, like right after the new board comes in, we've got time to get to know them as well, so that when we actually meet in person to talk business for the retreat, we don't have to start like from the very beginning fresh. So
Yep.
So I'm excited for that. Aside from that, man, Christmas is coming around here real soon. Holy cow, I feel like I just had turkey. But yeah,
I'm ready. I don't know about you, but
are you?
Yeah, I'm ready. I love Christmas. It's not my favorite holiday, but it is definitely probably my second. It's right up there because I love Thanksgiving because I love cooking, and then I love Halloween because Halloween. But Christmas is its own thing because just the emotions of it, the songs as an example, and just getting together with your family in a time of joy. It's really great. I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited for it. And this year we've got my sister-in-law and niece are coming in, so that's going to be cool to get to hang out with them.
Nice.
And my brother-in-law as well. So so we're gonna get some time to hang out with them.
Cool.
So that's gonna be fun. But
yeah,
man. Well,
I was gonna say I'm gonna be going to Minneapolis and seeing the cousins, I guess, the extended family, Marnie's extended family, the day after Christmas.
Okay.
So we're going to spend Christmas Day at home with our family because, with your kids and everything, it's just, wake up. You can have presents at our house under our tree, take care of that, and then go do whatever. So trying to keep up that kind of a tradition.
Yeah.
But then we're going, hopefully, to leave at least two of the children, if not all of the children, with family. Whoever, grandma, grandpa, and my brother-in-law, whoever will be willingly take my children for 4 or 5 days, because we're going to meet up at the lake, and then we're going to have, like, I think Thursday, Friday of that week, we're going to have just a big family get together and do our Christmas presents there, and
that sounds like fun.
It's just a big fun time. I don't know what we're going to do at the lake per se. Maybe we'll
ice skating.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, is there something we do, or do we just stay inside and not die from the cold? I don't know.
Throw rocks onto the lake and see if you can break the ice.
Right. That's what we did at Georgia, but it won't work here.
I don't know. It's not quite that cold yet. I would imagine you'd be able to make it happen. Maybe
you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking at least, at this point, it can't be that thick. But another month and then maybe you would have trouble.
I will say again, from Georgia, do you walk on the pond? No, you wouldn't walk on the pond. You'll immediately die. You're going to go through the ice. It's only like an eighth of an inch thick.
Yeah.
So just getting stuff to skip across the top was really cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can cut the ice and probably that kind of deal.
Make a hole.
Up there. Yeah. Go ice fishing, all that kind of fun stuff. So, which is honestly one of my things I really want to try sometime, is to go ice fishing. So I think that would be fun to do.
I talked with three of the kids today.
Yeah.
And we rode past it's the Smeakley Reserve over here in town, and they do ice fishing on the lake there. They do a lot of stuff there. And there was a guy out there it's not frozen. Well, I guess it's kind of frozen, but it's not ice fishing though, but he's got all this gear.
Yeah.
And he's like setting up to do whatever. I don't think he was going to go fishing today, but it was really funny because Lizzie said, again, she's 8. She said, I want to go ice fishing. And James said, well, what do you know about ice fishing? She said, well, it's just like regular fishing. And he said, well, what do you know about regular fishing? She said, James, let's just have fun. Okay. It was just like, yeah, just let her have fun. It doesn't matter if she knows what we'll figure it out. Come on, man. Stop making me pedantic about this. Just let it go.
Stop putting up walls, man. Let's just go. Let's see what happens.
Right.
That's really funny. Cool, man. Well, so we're gonna have Charlie on here in a minute, and until that happens, we're going to also have a commercial for membership for the organization, which, by the way, January 1st will be the end of the membership. And then it'll be time to renew for the 2023 membership for the organization. So if that's something that you need to do, make sure that you take a look into that. And
Mm-hmm.
also, too, if you want to make it really easy on yourself, just put reoccurring on there. And then that way you don't have to worry about it. And that way, every year you'll get all the things that you need and you'll be all set to be an active member with the organization. So, but we'll be right back and we'll have Charlie on. Become a member of the National At-Home Dad Network, an organization focused on providing advocacy, community, education, and support, connecting with households where dad is the primary caregiver of the children. We do this through our webinar and podcast series, mental health support groups, regular online social events, as well as our annual convention. The National At-Home Dad Network is a 100% volunteer organization. Without the generous support of its members and the community around it, we would not be able to continue the work that we do. Becoming a member gives you access to past convention speaker presentations, the ability to vote for board members annually, and ensures that the organization's fees and bills are in positive standing. Oh yeah, it should not go unmentioned that there is some cool swag headed your way if you decide to become a member. For only $35 a year, your membership provides you with the exclusive content only we can generate, and you'll be supporting an organization that benefits families all around the country and world. By advocating for them, offering them community, providing education and guidance, and supporting them to grow in their parenthood journey. And one last thing, if you contribute $500 or more, you will become a lifetime member. Not only will you receive everything already mentioned, but also a certificate recognizing your status and an exclusive National At-Home Dad Network challenge coin with our trademark logo, Dads Don't Babysit. So, what are you waiting for? Become a member today. All right, and we are back. And as I promised, we have Charlie O'Hara on. He is one of the board members. And Charlie, just so that everybody can get a chance to know who you are, tell us a little bit about you, your family dynamic, and how long you've been on the board.
Okay. Well, I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I was born and raised here. I was a firefighter in a previous life, as I say. I've been a stay-at-home dad now for a while. I got 3 boys. One turns 11 next month. I've been a stay-at-home dad that whole time, and I've got another that's 8 and another that turns 6 in like 2 weeks. So, my wife is a physician here in town, and so she works some pretty brutal hours and delivers babies for a living. And so, yeah, kind of became an easier situation for me to stay at home, take care of the kids, while could have that relief back at work, knowing that we didn't have to do a daycare, shuffle schedules and stuff, and just the dominoes all fell into place, and that's why I'm doing this. I've been on the board since 2020. I got elected on during the a dad kind of at home, and so I've been on now for just over 2 years.
Yeah, you came in right during the thick of the pandemic.
Yep, I did. I really did.
You get to be like the first, like, not in person vote, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Just a virtual thing.
I can't remember who was saying, hey, you didn't have to pander to everybody. I said, well, I wish I could have pandered to everybody. It would have been a lot nicer than being stuck in the basement.
It was a fun day. I will say, though, it was quite an adventure for sure. So, but yeah, so so in your time on the board, you've kind of jumped into taking over Carl Wilkie's long held spot as the I can't even talk tonight, geez, as the scholarship chair.
Yes.
And which is a very unique role in itself, because it helps dads get to Home DadCon. What has that been like for you with that experience?
Well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of credit too. You helped me out a lot with this, so it made it a lot easier on me with your organizational skills. And you're on the scholarship committee too, so that's helped a ton. You know, I didn't realize exactly how kind of personal it was to me with the fact that Brian Dixon, he was also a stay-at-home dad to a physician wife, and so that became kind of came my story, and so I just kind of jumped into it, and I didn't kind of just felt it out for a while and had you guys' help, and it's blossomed into something that I never would have expected, especially with the beer share at Home Dad Con, raising money for it, and you start seeing faces and names together, and just to see that magic happen is really, really cool. I enjoy that a lot.
Definitely. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Danny, I don't want to take up all the talking time. I know that you
No,
like
I
to
was going to
talk
wait and see
too.
where you went from there because after scholarship, I mean, you kind of it's all downhill, right?
Oh.
But because the scholarship is such a huge gift to
It
people,
is.
and we've talked about it before, and I don't want to keep bringing up the same subject. We don't, of course, want new material or whatever, but the reality of it is we all, the board especially, feel very strongly about the positive benefits of someone
If
being
I
able to go to the convention.
Right.
You know,
And personally, I didn't know anything about like even the network itself. When first became an at-home dad and got on to like a local dads group that's affiliated with it, I didn't realize that that scholarship was even a thing. So I thought to myself, well, how can I help improve upon that? And I probably would have tried out for the scholarship at the time because we were in a fixed income military and it was just going to be tough for me to make
mm-hmm.
Home Dad Con. And I hadn't even heard of Home Dad Con. So I'm kind of going, the two things I want to work on is how can I spread the word about it? And also how can I encourage guys to go ahead and apply for it? Even like, well, I'm not maybe embarrassed by it. Don't be. Don't be. We
Oh
we we
no,
love to
yeah,
have those guys. Don't
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
ever feel embarrassed by applying for that scholarship. It's
Oh
well
yeah,
Yep.
worth it.
definitely.
And we've
I
had guys that are just almost there. They can almost do it. They budgeted and like something happened
Right.
some you blew a tire. I mean, the smallest thing could just derail you
It costs a
financially.
lot of money. A lot of
Right,
money.
right. And when
right.
you have kids, everything is exponential. So
Right.
you have somebody that's like, well, we had it, everything was almost there, and I'm just going to fall a little short. Ask.
Nothing says you have to apply for every single thing that the scholarship does. You don't
Right.
have to try for room, board, travel, and flights and everything. You can apply for one thing. If you can cover another thing, that gets you that much closer.
Mhm.
Yep,
It really
definitely.
does.
Yeah. I really I gotta say that I feel like your involvement um with the 2019 Today Show feature um really was also a huge help into spotlighting the convention and the scholarship as well. And that was I think for a lot of people they probably didn't know who you were, which
Well,
helps with getting votes for the board in 2020 for
might be
you.
a little bit the reason why I ran. I ain't gonna lie.
But still though, like
Yeah.
that was a pretty fun thing to experience and see. What was that like to have a camera crew from New York come in to basically video a day with you and the kids?
It's one of those things where I wasn't too nervous. I know you guys. I wasn't nervous about coming on tonight, but I want to make sure I had everything squared away. I was nervous for that. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I had text communication with the producer, and all of a sudden we're flying in from New York. We're staying here tonight. I'm like, they're in town. They came to the middle of Podunk, South Dakota, and they're in town. They're coming over.
This is
It might be
real.
rainy, but they're coming over. This is real. And so then all of a sudden I woke up the next morning. My wife had to go off to work, and she had let them know that she'd be just a shade bit late. And they were actually kind of early, so it didn't even bother them at work. And next thing you know, I see a truck pull up, and I'm like going, yeah, this is real. Getting their equipment out. They got the NBC bags. I'm going, man, wow, this is for real. And so it was just, but then they introduced themselves. They made it real comfortable. And anytime you made a little mistake on the camera or something, all right, say that over again. Okay, good, we're good. So they made me look a lot better than I am. I stumble or I stutter and stumble all over. But no, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that they got a chance to come see what the life is like for an at-home parent. It's really nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you've been also, like you said, you've been running the local Sioux Falls dads group for a few years now too. So
Yeah, actually,
that's gotten you a little bit of notoriety on TV as well there
that's
locally.
kind of, yeah, locally it got me some notoriety, and a few I had some family members that were trying to help out with that a little too much, contacting the media and stuff like that. But no, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, I got to meet a lot of dads that I still talk to. Unfortunately, my kids are all full-time school, So I've been begging and pleading with some guys to take it over, and they have it, but they're all busy too. And I think
Yeah.
COVID took a real big hit on a lot of people, and they just kind of are still hesitant to get out and about yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember meeting you in Orlando. That was my first
Yeah,
convention, and
mine too. Yep.
yeah, and I was asked to present a breakout about growing a dad's group, that kind of thing. And I remember you and a bunch of other guys sitting in there and just shooting questions off to me.
Yeah.
And we had a great conversation. And then, like your group and I think Kyle Denny and there was a couple other guys, like their groups really just like took off from that. And that to me, like that talk, it was fun to do it the first year. And then the next year when we went up to Minneapolis, like you and I both got to do it together.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it's like we always have guys who are asking like, how do I get a group started? What do I got to do, kind of deal? And it's like just start going to the libraries and slapping little like
Yeah.
papers up
Mhm.
on the bulletin boards and
You-
being like, hey, like
you
who wants to
can-
hang out with some of our dads?
Get online and order some business cards and hand them out. And oops, I'd left a few at the park. Well, pretty soon those people, I've had a couple guys say, yeah, I saw you left a business card at a park. Good. You got
Yep.
a hold of it, or your wife got a hold of it, or your wife's friend got a hold of it, knew who you were. So that's how it spreads. You just got to get
Yeah.
the word of mouth out there.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So like you say, you got, three kids, right?
Yes, sir.
And then of course, the occasional in and out kids and for fostering. So that keeps
Yep.
you on your toes.
Yeah. I want
Yes.
to talk about that for sure.
Yeah,
tonight.
definitely. Go ahead, Danny.
Well, and I don't want to talk about it because I don't know that much about it other than I think it's awesome. But I know that, Charlie, that you have foster kids on a regular basis. And I'd like to know how you got into that and also what that means in your day-to-day life, because you have three and that's a
Yeah.
lot. And
Yeah.
I will say anybody that has three kids, you're right at the teeter point between to be a big family. At
Yeah.
4, you're a big family now. All of a sudden,
You
the
are.
dynamics change. Everything's different. And
Very.
so you bringing in even just one extra child just to foster them for a while or for any period of time is really expanding the amount of work that you're doing. And like I said, I'd love to know how you got into it and then what that means to you, like day to day, week to week for your life.
Well, it started, my wife went back for a reunion in her hometown, her high school reunion, and one of her friends there had started to do foster parenting and some respite care like what we do. And as they just kind of kept doing it, they started having a family of their own. They just kind of kept doing it. They just decided it worked for them. And so she wanted to try it out. We don't know how long we'll do it. We're just we're being successful after our first year doing it. And it was kind of her baby. I'll give her the credit for it. And we just started doing classes, and it was during COVID still, so a lot of it was online classes. And so pretty soon we were able to take them in, and we wanted to try respite care, respite care is when you have a foster child into a house, not permanently, but on a long-term basis. And then something comes up where either the family's going on vacation or something else has come up where they can't take care of them for an X period of time. And so then you get a phone call and they'll go down the list. You have stipulations you want to meet. For us, I won't lie and say we haven't bent a little bit on our stipulations here a little bit, but we want them between the ages of our youngest and our oldest. And the first go around, we had a couple kids that were younger, but they were pretty easy and good kids and all that. Now we have a kid that's the exact same age as my son, so it's right at the top point of that. But we wanted to have it where, what do we have for supplies in the house? I don't think we're ready for a teenager. We got rid of our changing table and everything.
Right.
So we don't have anywhere to change diapers. So we just said I don't really want to change diapers anymore, but if it needed to be done, I could do it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But we don't have the supplies for that anymore. We gave that away to another family that needed it. And so we have kind of an age range of our youngest to our oldest, and we can kind of take care of it in there. Now, the stipulation is, like you said, Danny, it is 4 kids, 4 boys between the ages of 5 and 11. That is a lot of work at night. And even when you're trying to get showers and everything to get bathed and go to bed. So my wife and I had another stipulation, which is she cannot be on call on those days because it becomes too much of a stressor at night. And some of the kids are trying to get away with some stuff at night, just, staying up a little too late or going and grabbing popcorn when I'm giving a bath to somebody else. And that's fine. Ask first. Yeah. So you have to make stipulations. You have to really try to maintain those rules and then you have to have a supportive family, and my kids love it. But
Oh,
and
that's
so
good.
yeah, it is nice. And so that's kind of how it has worked really well. But like I said, you have to learn how to say no, and that can be tough for time when you hear a situation. And I'm sorry, it won't work. We
Hmm.
cannot make that happen. And there are other families that will help out. But like I said, right now we have one. He's been here for about 5 days, and we're hoping that he'll be able to reunite with family fairly soon.
That's awesome. And I think the main point that I hear, and it really reaches to any parent, is know your limitations
You
and
have to
be
know how to say
willing.
no,
Yes, exactly. Healthy boundaries. Just
right?
it doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean you're neglectful. It just means no, this is as far as I go. And like you said, you're willing to change diapers. You know how to change diapers, but you don't want to spend your time changing diapers again. And I respect that, sir, because I tell you, I'm the same way. You do it like if your relatives have a baby or something,
Yeah,
and I'm sure when I have grandkids, I absolutely will change their diapers. I'm not against it, but I don't want to be in the trenches all day, every day, four or
right.
five diapers a day, whatever it is, having to do it. But also understanding that you don't have those supplies. Beautiful,
Yeah.
because if someone came to my house, I mean, I could, oh, well, excuse me, I'm going to go, I don't even have wipes for a baby. I don't have anything, and trying to go from that, all my kids are in school, everything's going this way, this is where all my kids are going, dealing with what an 11-year-old needs, which sounds like an easier thing than an
Yeah.
infant, but has its own challenges, right?
We wanted self-sufficiency when it came to having kids. We want kids that can kind of handle themselves a little bit
Hmm.
more, since our kids are getting to that age where they can handle themselves a little bit more. And wrestling with the four different kids right now, we've had up to five kids total, including
Yeah.
my three. So there are challenges. It gets very busy very fast, and that's why I told my wife I really want to make sure that when you're on call, it's going to be something where I can handle the number that we have, but I don't want to have a whole bunch
Hmm.
of them and saying, "All right, see you tomorrow morning." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Right.
Yeah. It's very smart because you're working within your means
Yes.
to
Hmm.
serve these kids, and
It's not supposed to be stressful, it's supposed to be helpful, and I don't want it to be stressful.
Hmm.
that's great. No,
And
that's
having
awesome.
that conversation, which I think we come back to a lot, because like for me personally, I hate saying no. Anything you want, yes, I will be there. I will try it. I will do it. And I don't have the energy to do that. I don't have the time to do that. I've got other kids, my own kids I'm taking care of, or whatever it might be that's keeping you restricted. But being able to have that communication with your partner is
Mhm.
fantastic, because I mean, you said this is kind of her baby, and I
It
have
is,
to
yeah.
imagine this is a passion thing. This isn't a I need to take care of children because no one else is, but it's I want to take care of these kids. These kids need somebody, and I want to be that person. And so then being able to make that a reasonable amount of time and effort that's not going to take away from your own kids or from the dynamic that you and your wife have. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it that you guys have that level of communication.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing I've learned in marriage is that when you early on, I want to make you happy. It's like some point in time, I like what you said, Danny. Self-care. You can't. You're in an airplane, the my oxygen mask come down. What do? You try to put it on everybody else. Pretty soon you're running out of air.
Right.
Put yours on first, and then I can help you out, and subsequently. And so that's kind of what it is. It's a self-care factor.
Hmm.
Is I don't stretch yourself too thin, and I know I've done that in the past 3 years of school. I've been on a couple of boards at school, including Cub Scouts and PTA, and on the board network, and doing this. And then it's like at some point in time,
Yeah.
you got to stop and breathe. And so it's got a couple of things had to go. I had to make compromises, and she was supportive of that, and that's what helped the most.
It's fantastic.
Definitely.
That's a good partnership.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said you have all of your kids are in school full time, so
Yes.
kind of made that transition. You mentioned something about doing some stuff with the school. What has that looked like for you as you transition into all the kids being gone during the day?
Well, I tell you what, and that's another thing is the self-care. I enjoy I force myself to go get a good workout for like even an hour. If I'm walking on a treadmill for an hour. And then for me, it's been volunteering at the school for you have sometimes these science projects or art projects or driving them for a school trip to downtown to the museum. And so for me in particular, it's been lunch service. They have a real struggle with lunch service, and it's not mindless work. You got to be organized, but it's something. It's a lot of hands work, and you got to be moving. And they just need the help. They only have a couple of people working there plus volunteers. You got to clean up dishes, sweep floors, and all that stuff. So it can be kind of a task, but at the same time, I got to go see where my kids are. I got to go talk to them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They get to see dad at school, which is still
Yes.
pretty cool to them, which isn't going to happen forever.
Yeah.
So I want to be careful that I don't overstretch my bounds. My fifth grader said, "Dad, you don't have to come over and give me a high five anymore." But point taken.
Yep.
My kindergartner says, "Dad, I want a high five every single day. I'll come over and talk to you, no problem." So
Right.
I got the all three of them at the same school. So I gotta juggle the two and just kind of get the one up.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, buddy? You know, little head nod real quick. And so yeah.
Nice.
Are you standing there by the lunch ladies doing a little Adam Sandler lunch lady lane? Like, here's
Oh,
some
that would be
sloppy joes.
fantastic.
They're extra sloppy for you.
I'm afraid of weirding my kids out when I do that. But at the same time, that'd be so much fun to do. So I've been doing a couple of zingers, you know, a little dad joke here and there. And I've been wearing some of my, you know, dad joke shirts and stuff like that. And so that's been kind of the fun part about that is, yeah. So I'm not embarrassing them yet. I said, well, I got work to do then.
Yeah, it'll get way easier, I'm sure.
Right.
Like, you know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
11-year-old, he's already at a point like, yeah, we're fine. I love you, yes, but let's not talk about it at school.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Oh man. But you mentioned self-care and some things that you're doing. What would you say is your favorite thing for self-care to do?
I do think it is just getting out and exercising and just going to the gym and just you know, working out a little bit, getting those muscles going and just, you know, making sure that I'm just staying healthy in every way I can and, you know, not getting any younger, make sure I'm doing a little bit of stretching and all that stuff. And next thing you know, you come out of the gym, you're like sore going, I was just stretching basically, but yeah. But during the summertime, I went on my wife actually gave me probably the first day I've had in a decade of alone time to myself.
Nice.
She went out to visit her sister out in the DC area, and the grandparents all wanted the kids for the weekend. It was a wide open weekend. I went, can I really do this? Is this a good idea? Is this bad parenting? And I'm sitting there going, you know, I have not had this in over a decade. So
Mhm.
of course I watched a scary movie that night that my wife won't watch.
Yes.
I'm like, yes,
There you go.
you know,
There you go.
I kid you not, I'm like, I might stay up all night. I'm in bed by 10 o'clock, sound asleep, just going, I get to wake up and go for a bike ride in the morning, did
Mhm.
the entire bike trails around town, went out to a little cafe and had lunch by myself outside, and just like,
Excellent.
I can breathe. And then I got another night to do it. So it was actually a sequel of Scary Movies. So
There you go.
I could watch the second one, Scary Movie, and
Sweet.
just sat around the fire pit, relaxed a little bit, and enjoyed the weather. And then, you know, went to bed again. And I felt a weird amount of relief. It's just like I could do this more often. I should do this more often.
You
You
should.
know, try it once a year. Just have a full weekend where she goes off somewhere, get the kids off, and I can just, you know, get out for a while.
I
Yeah.
think a year is too long, man. Just gonna say,
We'll see.
I don't do it either. So I'm not I'm not going good standing here. 10 years is definitely too long. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so funny because, like you said, you don't feel comfortable doing it. You're like, wait,
No,
so
it's
you're all
hard.
going to be okay? You've got him, and I'm just going to be here by myself. And it's been so long since you've experienced that, you know.
You feel like you're
You know,
doing something wrong. You're doing a disservice to your family as a
Yes.
stay-at-home dad. You're supposed to be there at all moments in time, but the grandparents reached out and helped. My wife's like, I'm going off to see my sister. This is great for me. I love this. When kids love their grandparents, I'm going, what am I worried about? I said, so
Right.
let's just do this. Let's just try to relax. The first night was okay. Didn't sleep as well as I'd hoped I would just because I'm worried. The next night I'm like,
Right.
nah, kids, they're good.
They're fine. Yeah.
They're fine.
These-
They're totally fine.
The grandparents have done this all before. That's what I tell
Yeah.
myself is they've done
And
it before.
they spoil them rotten and let them stay up too late.
Right.
Not
And
my
that's
problem
fine.
at that point.
Right.
That's right.
Well, and for
That's
me,
great.
when I hear that, I keep thinking back to this idea that a few other dads had that live kind of all in the same regional area, and it was this like let's find like a cabin or something and just see who all can make it to like that location for like a Friday night, Saturday, leave Sunday
That'd be
morning
fun.
kind of deal, just to like hang out, you know, just whatever. Like we don't have like we'll buy all the alcohol there when we get there kind of deal. Bring your own cigars that you want kind of thing, and we'll know just
Nice.
have a nice time. And I'm like, man, I really want to do that. I was like, I keep looking at different places, and to me, I'm like, all right, like we could do like Des Moines, Iowa or something like that. Like someplace that's sort of obscure, but you're gonna find that cabin and on the lake kind of deal and be able to do that. But yeah,
Many hole DadCon.
Exactly. And
Many home DadCon. We don't have to talk, no breakouts, just
No, it's the breakout is that you break out
break out the beer,
a case of beer. Yeah, that's what you're breaking out for sure.
Absolutely.
I always come back to this. All the world's problems can be solved around a campfire.
Amen.
Just saying, you sit around the campfire with your friends, with your brothers, your family, and it just something about it. It just wears down the boundaries between you, and you start talking about the things that really matter, and you really reach that point where you're suddenly everyone's wise as Solomon. It's just amazing.
It's a great icebreaker just to sit around a fire and just chill out with a beer. It's so relaxing, and it's just like, take all the world's stresses off my shoulders. What do we talk about? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think even just from the standpoint of just getting together with other men and having conversations, it doesn't have to even involve smoking or drinking, because there are quite a few people who don't do either of those things, and that's completely fine. But just the ability to get around others and have just conversations about things that you're like, I don't know that I'd be able to get to talk to any other dad about this, and here's the opportunity, and you just see them like unleash all of this weight, and they walk away going, wow, like that was an experience.
I contacted the 3 main guys that used to hang out. They all have grown kids now too. And we went out for breakfast this past week, and they're like, I have not done this in so long. I said, let's do it again. I got a poker table in the basement. Just come on over. We'll play some cards. And they're all like, yeah, we haven't done that in like years.
Since college.
Yeah, let's do this. And so I've got to set up a schedule and see if we can get those guys over sometime and just sit down and play some cards and just relax and chat and bond for a little while. Bond with other dads. It's great.
Definitely.
So I'm seeing a trend or a thread here between one to the other, where if it's a dad's group or it's just a gathering with dads, just hanging out with your old friends, the main thing is to ask, to have that offering of, hey, I'm going to be here at the playground at 9:00 every Tuesday or whatever. And it's, right after or before story time at the library. And I'm going to be here with my kids. You come by if you want to. But consistently being there, but first asking, just putting, hey, why don't you guys come over on Saturday and we'll just shoot some pool or whatever. So the stepping out, if you need that, if you don't have that men's group, if you don't have that mentor, ask, put yourself out there a little bit and see what you can build.
Right. So use communication with my wife. I mean, there's at-home dads that her coworkers have. And I didn't know this until like 6 months ago, because whether they're old enough to retire or they just moved here or whatever it was, it's like, well, shoot, let me hook you up. I know some people. And next thing you know, they're going out to the park. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely, man. And so, like, with all of those things going on, I was curious, like, kind of just to backtrack a little bit for you joining the board. What was it about joining the board that like reeled you in? Because like sometimes people get asked, they're like, I don't know about that. Or, like in Matt Strain's situation, he was like, I'll be good at this point. Like, then I'm open to it. But then he felt compelled to like jump in a year earlier. So what was it for you that basically like, you were like, I'm going to go for this, especially like you said, 2020. So that was an odd time in itself as well. What was that? What was it for you?
Like you said earlier, having a little bit of name recognition from that article is one of those things where I kind of went, okay, if I'm going to do it, now's the time. I really kind of wouldn't mind seeing what's going on behind the scenes. Is there a way I can help? I didn't even know how I could help. And then I said, well, coming the next year, I'm going to have 3 kids and 3 full-time sports. But right now I only have 2. And I do have the support of my wife with this. So I kind of thought if there's ever going to be a time that I do run for this, it's going to be now. Otherwise, I'm going to be getting more involved in things. If I want to run later on, it's going to be like, gosh, I got 2 basketball games this weekend. I've got hockey going on Thursday night for sports. I got the Jungle Ninja Warrior place or whatever they call that. And it's going to be, I'm not going to have the time. And so if I want to explore this option, now is the time. If I get on, great. If I don't, I won't have any hard feelings about it. And so it just felt like the right time. And I've always been kind of curious about the behind the scenes stuff. And for everything the National at Home Dad Network did for me and my group here, I just kind of thought, well, I kind of feel maybe a little obligated to at least try and see if I can help.
Nice. I like that. Definitely. Moving forward into some of the other questions that we had sent to you. You mentioned when you got some free time, you got to watch some scary movies. What would be your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I was just on this past week, and I told my wife I love that movie. I can watch it every time. It's The Fugitive with Harrison Ford.
Oh, that's a good one, man. I haven't seen that one in a hot minute.
I every time I turn it on, I know the story. I know how it ends, but it intrigues me every time.
That is a good one. I think I went and saw that in the theater, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember. I might have to.
Are you a scary movie fan too? Because you mentioned that's what you kind of went to.
I just did that because I really hadn't seen a scary movie in forever because my wife just won't watch them. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't mind seeing what this one. They weren't necessarily good scary movies. They were just scary movies in general.
I was going to say, like, well, I imagine people are probably listening going like, what did you see? What did he watch? What
Neighbors
movie?
were calling, what is going on over there?
Yeah.
No,
what was it that you watched what was that scary movie? Do you remember?
Yeah, no, I don't. It's one of those really bad movies that was on like the free Netflix like a year ago where I'm going, this looks terrible. I'm gonna watch it. I don't know why.
Like Santa Claus versus the Aliens or something like that.
It's like Santa Claus. Yeah,
Santa Claus.
People off type of, it was that bad of a movie. And I know they had two of them, so I knew it was really bad.
It had to be really bad. Yeah, it was a sequel.
Classic, yeah.
Krampus and Krampus 2.
Right? Yeah. But Leprechaun 2.
The things you can do when your kids are out and your spouse is out, because Marnie and I a lot of times we do watch the same things, but there's definitely movies that she likes that I watch with her just because I love her. And there are movies that I like that she just refuses to watch because she doesn't love me that much. Idiocracy is an example. Yeah, it's just a stupid movie, but I love it. I would love to watch that movie, and she refuses. There's no, it can't happen. There's no amount of cajoling or begging or communication, and even that'll bring that to happen, because she just has a limit. And again, I respect that, but it's always better for me because when the kids, especially during the day now, because every once in a while I'll plan a day to like, okay, so it's the kids are all in school. As long as nobody's sick, Marnie's not in the house. She'll be in her office. I'm going to watch blah, 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 whatever it is. Movies that are, because I love violent movies. And I just really, she doesn't like violence. She doesn't like a lot of gore. And I have no problem watching like a war movie and people are getting blown into pieces, like it's a movie. It's not really happening. It's not, nobody got hurt. No animals or people were harmed in the production of this,
Right.
But yeah, so you find that time for yourself. And again, it's a weird form of self-care, but it is self-care. Mm-hmm. It's taking time for yourself. It's great.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about having a Roku, because a lot of times I'll throw my Bluetooth earbuds in, and then that way, like, she can't hear any of it, and I'm just watching it. And then there's a few times where I know that she's like Corey's come walking in like to the living room, like, what are you watching? And like, I didn't even hear her the first time she said it, and then like she gets into like my peripheral, and she's like looking at me, she's like, what are you watching? I'm like, pull my earbuds out, I'm like, what?
Yeah, hang on, honey, this is a good part.
Yeah, right. Like you always gotta
watch it.
You always gotta come
in. Watch it. You'll love it.
That's the thing. And she always comes in when it's like pause, like, oh, like really? Like you have impeccable timing, lady.
Right. There was a half hour of exposition, and we're finally at the climax. And
okay, exactly.
Let's just go over there.
It's like that person that walks into the movie theater. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Or stand up at the wrong second. Get out of the way.
Yeah. Breaks the ambiance completely.
Down in front.
Oh man. So with having all the kids and everything, like you said, when they're not around, do you have a specific genre of music that you like to listen to, or what do you like to listen to in the car? Because like, we had Matt was like, I like to listen to audiobooks, and JHG, blows all of our minds with like, I like metal. So
metal. I'm a 90s kid. I started junior high in the '90s, and I was almost done with college in the '90s. So you could pretty much take the '90s song and I've listened to it. So it's sad as it is to say, and I heard the last podcast is it's oldies radio now.
It is oldies.
So-
I know, right?
It hurts so
Man.
much.
It does. It hurts so badly. But like I love the Matchbox 20.
Oh, that's a good
Green
one.
Day. Green Day was a favorite of mine. Just all those in there they are just my formidable years of high school and college. And they just I hear an old '90s song going on. I start singing it, it's like
Mhm.
this is 30-year-old song. Now,
Yeah.
when you look at the XM, you're going, this is 92. Oh,
Or
Yeah.
you see the guys in the bands, the
yeah.
performers, and you're just like, oh wow, okay. And then don't think about this part. That's what you look like to them.
Yes. Yes.
You've also aged and gotten a little puffy.
Right. Well, that's the thing. So I saw somebody the other day wearing a Green Day sweatshirt, and it was the Dookie album, like on the front of
Nice.
it. And I wanted to be like, oh, I love that album. But then I like look at the person and I was like, if I say that, like they're just gonna be like, what? And I know that like they're not even gonna be able to like they solely bought the sweatshirt because it is a very cool design. And I was like,
Yeah.
they probably don't know any of the
Yeah.
songs. So-
Right. Then you're like some creepy old guy coming to like,
Yeah.
I love that shirt, man.
Right.
Get away
Exactly.
from
Going
I
to
was
their
like,
concert in 94. 94, sir?
Oh,
I was like, I'm not
wasn't
gonna
even
be
You
that.
born
mean in the last century?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you're from
You
the
gotta be mean.
1900s. Oh,
Right. You're from the 1900s. Oh, you're killing me.
That's like anytime anybody's like, "Can they card you?" and you give them the card, be like, "See the one?
Mhm.
I'm good. I'm
Right.
good."
You're good. Yeah.
Right.
No problem. Or they stop carding you.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't had that happen yet, Danny.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get
I
the
may
I
have.
get the beard going. It's nice and gray. I got no hair up there. I don't get carded.
I got to shave all this crap off. November's done. I got to get rid of it because
I'm surprised you still got it,
so much-
man.
It's
That's
this is
self care for you. You need to
it's
set
my
yourself an
kids,
appointment
man.
up.
It's my kids. It's every morning. There's some reason because I set aside time in the morning to do all these things, but it's on the caveat that my kids get themselves, out the door, that they are out and going. But like today, Lizzie was sick, and yesterday or Friday, I should say, somebody else. And I'm like, come on. And
Right.
weekends don't work. And I have to say, this is a lot. It doesn't look like a lot. There's a lot to shave off here. It'll take probably 45 minutes to get the mohawk back and everything. And I just can't commit the time. So it's ridiculous. It's
I'm
ridiculous.
jealous.
Well, it's mostly bald spots. And they're all just coming
Mine's
together.
all bald spots. So I ain't
It's
got
like
choice.
a reverse Pangea. It's like just a lot of spots and they're just slowly converging to the middle of my head. So that's why I keep the mohawk, because I'm like, I am young, I swear, I have hair. No,
Oh
that's
my
not the reason.
goodness. I'd say Charlie can't really speak to that. Like he's got the completely bald head, so it's all good. Oh man,
It's all right.
I'd take a big pink afro right now if you gave it to me. I would. So I'd stay there. I would take it. I wouldn't touch it. I walk around town going, I'm proud of this thing because I
Mhm.
haven't seen hair in 20 years.
yeah.
Wow, early.
Yeah.
Well, at least you
Yeah.
have a nicely shaped head. You've got that going for you. You're not all,
I'm
like.
shaved head, but the double chin, you could just pull that back a little bit. It'd be all right.
Oh my gosh. Hey, so back to the questions that we sent you. I'm curious, do you have a favorite vacation that you've gone on with your family?
We just before is actually just after the NBC article happened. We were leaving the airport, then after the airport the next day, and we went to Niagara Falls and to Toronto with the
Oh.
kids. We flew into Buffalo, New York, stayed at Niagara Falls for the night. We did the whole shopping, got in the ferry, got right by the falls, and it was just it scared the heck out of my youngest. But I don't know why, it was just enjoyable to me. But you're like, this is Niagara Falls. Oh my gosh, this is
Mhm.
huge. And then we went to it's a kind of a tourist trap up there. And we went on the Canadian side, so you can actually see the falls from a hotel room. And every night at 10 o'clock they
Ooh.
did fireworks. And so we got to see the fireworks over Niagara Falls every night. My kids are just glued to the windows, loved every minute of it. To me, my wife and I were just like, got a little glass of wine and just watch the kids. And you got to let them stay up late. Whatever.
Yeah.
This is a once in a lifetime experience. Then we
Oh,
got to go
yeah.
to Toronto the next day and got to go up to the Sphere and the Stratosphere, and then got to go to the aquarium and just it's all these details that happened and just within a 4 or 5 day period, and it was just so memorable, and then we had a lot of fun, and yeah, that was a great trip. And then
Yeah.
COVID came months later, and we said we might not be able to do this for a while. I'm glad we did it. I really am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corey
Yeah.
and I went to Niagara and Toronto for our 10-year anniversary, and
Nice.
it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. We zip lined actually like towards the falls. That was cool.
Wow.
So, but it is a tourist trap. You're not kidding. Like,
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we've been to Gatlinburg, and it felt very much like Gatlinburg of the North in a lot of ways. Like, very much the same shops. You know, you had all the like Ripley's Believe It or Nots, and like
Yep.
all these
A
other
lot
like
of yeah.
weird shops on top of that.
The upside down house, you walk inside of it and you feel like you're in an upside down house, stuff like that. I'm going, okay, this is kind of all right.
Yeah.
Tourist trap. We're good. Kids loved it. We're good. We're good.
Now I will say
Was
that
there fudge? Was
yes.
there fudge?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
definitely fudge.
There's
up there.
always fudge. Well, in Georgia, it's the same. There's a place called Helen, and it's a Scandinavian village, basically. And they have all of and guarantee as soon as you get out of your car, walk into the village, and you will smell fudge. And it was we went as maybe once or twice as a kid, and definitely, like 15, 20 years ago, I'd go. And then I went back within the last 5 years, and I went, yeah, there's the smell. It's fudge. All right. I know exactly where I'm at. It's a tourist trap, because why would I guess fudge is the thing.
Fudge is the thing. Yep. It's
That's
everywhere.
Good.
So yeah, so the thing with us when we were up there though, which was really cool, was since it was just the two of us, we kind of had the ability to venture wherever. And being someone who really enjoys like history and like older things like that, I found a printing press up there, and it actually we went there and did a tour and found out that it was actually the first printing press in Canada that printed a newspaper. And it
very cool.
Yeah, it was
That is
really neat.
cool.
All typeset and everything like that.
Did they actually run the presses at all for you or anything?
They did, yeah. They ran the presses. And
That's
then it was
cool.
really cool at the end. They ran a sheet for each person, and they ask you a few different questions, who you are, that kind of stuff. So they put your name and things in there, and they put the date in there, and then they run it, ink and all, and bring it to you, give it to you. And it's a freaking indentured servant contract for like a 5-year sign up to work at the press.
Like surprise, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so funny. but I mean, they don't tell you that. You're just like, the guy who's there is like super slick about it when he like does it for the first person. I mean, it was funny.
They have like a hidden camera where they show you your face when you saw that.
I wish they did, because my eyeballs got huge. I was like, what? Like,
I was gonna say
it was funny. But we went on our actual anniversary of our wedding. So it's kind of funny because like it has our wedding anniversary slapped on this indentured servant contract too.
Oddly specific.
Oddly,
right.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
When's that contract up? Because I'm on 19 years. When does it run out?
That contract came up this year because we did 15 years. So.
Sorry, babe. Got to renegotiate.
Yep, exactly.
Looks like it's time.
Yes.
So, but there's also, Toronto's got a lot of cool wineries and stuff. We on the way up there, and then we also spent time on a sailboat actually out in Lake Superior, which was really cool.
The one thing we loved about Toronto was the stratosphere. You go all the way to the top, and it looks like you're looking over New York City.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can go over this side, and you can see like boats, you can see private houses, you can see these yachts. I'm going, whoa. You can see for long ways out up here. And that's what my kids, I have a picture of my I think it's my middle guy, just glued to the window, me just holding him there, and he just couldn't believe how high he was, and the sight you can see out there. And it was really neat. That's the best part, I think, was the highlight, was just seeing my kids just staring off just as far as I can see.
I highly recommend go to Toronto, just see it, or go to Niagara Falls, just see it, don't stay, and then drive to Toronto and spend the rest of your time there, because it's worth it to go up there. So yeah.
Funny story about going up to Toronto, Brock. We actually went to a Perkins the night of the thing, and I wanted to go downtown Toronto or downtown Niagara Falls to actually get some Cuban cigars, which they try to sell you for cheap in the tours part. went downtown. I got a spot where I got my max limit I could bring over the border. And then we drove up to Toronto, and about, I'd say 3/4 of the way there, I didn't realize how much chocolate milk my son had.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
rental car.
oh,
It came out. He had those 2 full glasses that they give you. Now, keep in mind, he's 5 when this happens.
Oh boy.
So here I am crawling in the back, trying to clean up a bunch of chocolate milk puke. And needless to say, we
Awesome.
did not get a deposit back on that car. Oh, it was awful. So that was one of I just remember that drive going, what didn't I like about? Oh, that's what I did like.
and milk vomit is the worst.
Oh, yeah, it is.
because the vomit smell, but then the milk will curdle, and it just
Yes.
it's just yeah.
I'm cringing remembering it coming out of his mouth. Going,
Sorry,
"Oh,
anybody out there that's vomiting in their mouth right
I was
now. I
gonna say,
apologize
yeah.
for bringing that up.
sorry about that.
It's,
Sorry, just one of those. It's another one of those unique parts of the story. That's what it is.
Hey, if you're a dad, it's either poop or puke. I feel like it's what you
Or
talk
both.
about,
It is.
Yeah,
or both. Yeah,
or both.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially
Gotta have a
this,
strong stomach.
especially this time of year. I feel like flu season. Ugh.
Oh,
Yuck.
everyone's home sick. It seems like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we've been dealing with my youngest for the past couple of days. So fun times there for sure.
Oh, blast.
Well, hey, before we let you go, because we are coming up
Yes.
to that time, did you bring a dad joke with you or two?
I did. Why was Han Solo so upset when he was eating his steak dinner?
Why?
It was Chewy.
Oh my God. Wow, that's a good one. Yes. Well done, sir. That was- oh man.
Nice. Horrible, but perfectly horrible.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, what can I say that's not R-rated, but there's something I just got to get. I'm like, what's the one I heard back one time about Han Solo? So I look it up, I'm like,
Oh.
that's it. I remember that.
That's
That
a
definitely fits
really
the
good
bill.
one.
That
That's
fits the bill.
well done. Bravo. That was a good one.
We'll be telling it to my children tonight. Absolutely.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
it's
be
time
ter-
to go to bed. You don't get a story, you get a joke. Ready? They're
My-
not
my-
ready.
My son, every day that he walks into school, walks up to the gym teacher and tells him a joke. I found this out because the gym teacher told me about it. He was like, Hezekiah tells me a joke every single day. And then
Is
he
it
goes,
a different joke?
it is because
Okay,
he has,
good.
Okay.
because he
Okay,
has
good.
he has one of my joke books from when I was a kid that I bought at like one of the book fairs, and so he keeps it in his backpack, and he like pulls it out like before he goes in and gets a joke and then reads it and then says it to him. So he's quite methodical about it. So but I'll have to
Part
tell
of
him
his
this one.
day.
It is part of his day, and the
Yeah.
gym teacher loves it, so he can't
Yeah.
go wrong there.
Yeah.
Oh, I would too. Yeah, you would as any
absolutely.
kid. Yeah,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
if
You
it's a
got
different
you got
joke.
something to tell them that they don't already know. That's what you're excited about.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially when you're somebody like that kid where he has something to always tell you. So oh shoot. Well,
I don't know where he
Charlie,
gets that.
no idea. Not from me. Maybe it's from his mother.
Yes. Yeah.
Dang it, Corey.
I know. Gosh. Well, hey,
Anyhow,
Charlie, thanks so much for coming on tonight, man. It's been awesome getting to talk to you.
No.
Hopefully everybody got a chance to learn something new about you.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me on, guys. This was a good time, and it worked out and kind of gave me a little bit of free time to move around a little bit too. So it was
There
nice.
you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess if anything else, along with seeing you maybe for a board meeting, I guess we'll see you in person at the board retreat in March. So
Yes. Yes. That'll
Yeah.
be fun. I'm looking forward to it, man.
awesome.
Yep,
And
yep.
everybody else, we will talk to you all next week, and we will have another board member guest to talk with then. So until then, have a good one.
good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.